going on, everyone? So today we got to go over Pudgy penguins, guys. I'm going to talk about my target price for Pudgy penguins and how I plan on trading Pudgy penguins right now and where I think is going to go right here in the near future. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's get straight into it. So as you can see, we are down 11.8% in the last 24 hours, 34% in the last 7 days, 38% in the last 30 days, 1.2 billion in market cap, 335 million in trading volume. What we really want to look at is this. So Pudgy penguins has now bounced off of this support here at 0.02. So we bounced off that 2-cent support. And look, I think Pudgy penguins still has a little bit of a ways to go. Look at how this candlestick wicked right down here to 0.016. I've seen this happen so many times. And usually when something like this happens, we usually end up coming right back down to that wick, but we usually end up coming a little bit below that wick. So right now, I'm looking at a near-term target of 0.013 for Pudgy penguins. So I actually have set a buy order of about $1,000 at 0.013 because I think when it hits 0.013, it's going to do one of two things. Look, it's either going to have to recover from here, right? A slow recovery or a fast recovery. Either way, I think it'll either recover for 0.013 or I think it will break down even lower than 0.013, right? This is 0.013, and I think it might even break down lower and come down here to 0.008. The complete bottom that I have here is 0.005, and I mentioned that in my previous video. And the reason why I say the complete bottom, if we even did that, a big if, is if Bitcoin does what I expect Bitcoin to do. And that's SPY, that's not Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin does what I expect it to do, which is what it had in the last 3 times we've reached all-time highs, it has pulled back 32% and then has had a bull flag. Boom. 32% followed by bull flag. Boom. 32% followed by falling wedge. Boom. 32% drop followed by another falling wedge. Boom. And then the Trump manipulation kind of made it pump out of this and then right back into it after he manipulated it again. And I think it could still come down to 32% here. And if it does that, then I would think Pudgy penguins is going to end up going down to about, let's say 0.008 or 0.005 at the lowest. So I'm still targeting these prices, guys. I'm still in this. Well, I'm not still in Pudgy penguins. I've obviously sold. Like, I'm waiting for a buy price. That's pretty much what I'm waiting for. So yeah, I have, again, $1,000. I'm about to buy in here at 0.013. And then if this breaks and we go to 0.008, I'll then buy some more. And then if it goes down to 0.005, I'll buy more. And this is how I do it. Like, I like the dollar cost average in the best price zones. 0.013, 0.008, and then 0.005. Those are the 3 best buy zones that I'm noticing here on Pudgy penguins. So that's what I think is about to happen next. And I think after it does that, it's going to probably have a nice swift recovery for November through December. I feel like the crypto market is going to do pretty well through November and December, especially after these drops. Like, this is what the institutional investors want. They want to shake out the weak hands, and they want to drop the prices down so low to where they can buy at the cheapest price. But look, it's nearly at the cheapest price. And even though it's cheap, it's not as cheap as it could be. So that's why I'm saying we have the possibility to pull back some more. And like, nobody was expecting what happened in April. Nobody was expecting that. We can even look at the stock market, because even inside of the SPY, the S&P 500, the SPY, even the SPY pulled back a significant amount when that happened. So when all that mess happened, the SPY even pulled back. And you can even see right here, the S&P 500, it pulled back a pretty significant amount. The SPY pulled back by about 21%. So I like to do it like this. I like to compare and contrast. The next time might also be around 21%. And if it does that with the SPY, then what do you think is also going to happen inside of crypto? Bitcoin's going to go down. Everything else is going to go down. You know, it's going to be the same thing. So if we go down 21% inside of SPY, we're pretty much just looking for that Fibonacci support right down there. So we're pretty much looking to come down to 539. $539 in the SPY for the S&P 500. So that is a possibility. And just looking at the time period that it took last time, you can see here, you can just take it from here and then put it right there at the bottom, and then that's going to give you a time frame right there, which was about 47 days from the all-time high till that new low. 47 days, right? So hypothetically speaking, again, this is all hypothetical, if we were to do the same thing from the previous or the all-time high we just now hit, if we are looking at 47 days to that Fibonacci support, bring this all the way in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, around 47 days. So about $540 or $539 really, and around 47 days. So that would look like us extending this crash out to November 26th, like late November. So it like we could be dumping till late November is pretty much what I'm saying. So that's kind of what it's looking like here. But again, I think November is still going to be good for us because we could bottom out before then. We might not even go all the way down. So you got to remember this is all hypothetical, but we got to run every single scenario, guys. Every single scenario has to be ran through this because we got to get it right. We cannot get rug pulled. We can't end up trying to buy at these high prices because that's exactly what they want. And everyone's talking about buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. But this is what the institutional investors do. They know that retail investors are so heavy on buying the dip, but they're going to make the dip so low that you just won't have any more money to buy in, and you're not going to have the motivation to even want to buy in, right? You're just not going to have the money and or the motivation. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to wear you out. They're trying to shake you out. They don't want you in the market. They want your coins at those prices. So what you got to do, you got to wait for the good prices. And on Pudgy Penguins, 0.013 is a very good buy price. It's also where we had support here. Personally, I think that it could bounce from there, but I don't know. It just right now, it just looks like we're probably going to pull back a little bit more. So some other metrics that I want to show you guys here. As you can see, we're picking up on the selling volume here on the MACD for Pudgy Penguins. And then you can also see the %R trend exhaustion showing the trend is not exhausted to the downside yet. It's only exhausted to the downside when it gets around this area here. So we could come down a little bit more here. So I would definitely say wait for that and be prepared. So there is a possibility that it could pull back some more. And then we also have the same type of metrics here on Bitcoin, which a lot of people are not paying attention to. So if you look at Bitcoin on the daily chart, a lot of selling on the MACD, which is obvious. Obviously, we have selling all over the MACD. But what I think people are missing on Bitcoin is the 1 week chart. They're not looking at the weekly chart, and they're not thinking about what could happen and how it could happen. I think this is going to happen right here. So I think we're going to continue to pull back a little bit. And I think there's a possibility 85K still. I think it happens. If we look over here, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily do this, right? It doesn't have to follow this to a T. Like it can do whatever it wants. It could, like it can do whatever it wants. But look, if we were to follow this same pattern that we're in right here, right? And I'll show you why it's a pattern. And this is a little untraditional, but we can see that if it continues to go at this rate, like if it continues to slope downwards at this rate, like we could easily end up seeing this extending into what? November, like how we mentioned before. And then right there around November 24th, somewhere in the November 20s, then we could end up seeing huge amount of gains, just pumping, going crazy. So look, again, we come down in here, and then inside November going into December, huge pumps. In January, still going up. In February, going up. And then I think sometime around here, like February, maybe even March of next year, I think we have a huge crash. And then we stay like oversold for a while. So that's kind of how I feel like this market is playing out with Bitcoin. And look, this is the %R trend exhaustion. The white line is the short-term trend. We've hit it once here, twice here, waiting for a third time. And then we've had our long-term trend, which is the blue line, hit here, hit here. Now we're waiting for the third time for the blue line to hit here, right? So this should do this, that should do that. And then what should it do after it recovers? Boom and boom. And then pull back there. And then also we've hit here, we've hit here, and we've hit here. So we've already touched it 3 times at the top. And so far the short term has touched it 3 times here, one here, one here, one here, but the long term hasn't yet. So right now what we're waiting for is the long term trend to come down here, touch here. And look, just a few days ago, look at my Bitcoin videos. Even from weeks ago, this white line was way up here. And I was still calling the same thing. I'm like, guys, watch this. It's going down. I've been calling this for the longest time. And actually, instead of just talking about it, I'm going to pull up the clip here. So as you can see here, guys, I've been calling these consecutive 32% drops, these 32% drops that we keep having. And if you look over here, I actually posted this video 1 month ago, September 7th. We are going to be, so yeah, we're going to have a good, nice rally for this. That's a short-term chart, yes, perspective of previous price action. So yeah, we are primed for a nice breakout. So if you look over here, you can see when Bitcoin bull trapped everyone and it started to curve up, I actually made a video on it talking about how it wasn't done yet. So I was saying this is not done yet. The crash is not done. Even though Bitcoin is starting to pump again, it is not done. And some people were saved, but some people weren't. And this was 3 weeks ago. So I've been talking about this for a while, guys. But anyways, let's go back over this, because as we can see, it is actively still pulling down. So there is still a chance of 85K Bitcoin. There's still a chance. Look, if it does not do 85K, I have a few levels that you need to watch. And there is a chance it doesn't do 85K. 85K is like a 50 to 60% chance, right? But if you want something that has a higher likelihood of hitting, we're really not eyeing 85K as that. But right now I'm eyeing like 99K as like a bottom base. But I feel like if we go below 99K, we have to hit 85K. Like if we go below 99K, right? And we do not stop at this 99K support and go up, I feel like we have to hit 85K at that point. And I feel like that because this is a strong, solid support at 99K, right? That's a pretty strong, solid support. But where have we seen support at 99K? We've seen a little bit back here, yes. But where have we seen a support around 92, 93K? We haven't seen a support around 92, 93K. Where's our next solid support? Well, around 85K, we kind of had a little bit of support there, a little bit of resistance, not necessarily support, but we still had resistance there. So we had solid support. So there's really solid support at 74K. So I think if we pull down, like we have to be eyeing 99K. And if we go below 99, we have to be eyeing 85K. If we go below 85, we have to be eyeing 74, but I don't think we're going that low. I think what we're doing is either 99K or 85K. So I would say get ready for that. And I'm going to lean more towards 85K. And I'll tell you why, guys. Like, look, if we're following this to a T, all this move down here is going to be down to 85K. I'm telling you right now, it's probably going to be 85 to 74K. All that move. Like from here to here is not 99K. We're already at 105K. You see how slow it's moving. So I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a much lower price. But anyways, this has been a action-packed video. We've talked about a lot. Shout out to the members of the channel out there. Guys, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Again, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But I'm telling you guys, this is my price target. You guys don't got to buy at 0.013. You guys don't got to buy at 0.008. You guys don't got to buy at 0.005. Do what you do. Do your own research. Do your own due diligence. This is my due diligence, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's pretty much what this is. But anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Oh, I already said that. I'm not. Yeah, I already said that. Anyways, become a member of the channel, guys. Become a member of the channel. it is super cheap, only $9.99 per month. You'll probably make it back in the first month. Ask me to go over any coin and I'll get it to you within a day, guys. I'll get whatever coin that you need out there. So just ask me and I'll get it for you out there. Whatever type of technical analysis you want me to go over for a project, I'll do it, as long as it's not no small cap scam coin. But yeah, it's only $9.99 per month. But anyways, this is all I got for you guys. As always, I'll be back with another video.